Hello. Today I would like to talk about this video that I came across. About 6 months ago I came across a video. It was called Metamorphosis Angel, and it was about this girl metamorphosizing into a beautiful version of herself, I guess. In it they showed these people in the background wrapping her face and this and that and the other, and it was kind of a cartooned, kind of half, I don't know, there was real stuff put in with the cartoon and such. It was really, really interesting. But anyways, the reason I bring it up is because the drawings of the girl look just like me. Before she turned into the angel. Anyways, and I got a couple of still frames, and in some of those still frames there was like Hitler behind one and the number 6 behind another. And I thought that was interesting. Well, months later, a little bit after that or whatever, Till had stuck in, and I thought this was an interesting coincidence, but Till Swan had stuck in that she wanted us to all put in what our opposite was. And I didn't know really what my opposite would be. I mean, like, how do you figure that out, right? So I cheated. I asked my guides, I'm like, who's my opposite? And they told me, they said, well, your opposite would be Hitler. And I'm like, oh, okay, Joy. And so, you know, I just kind of put it in there that my opposite would be Hitler. Well, somebody else in the group had said, well, that's interesting that you would say that, because if you really think about it, because there needs to be a Hitler in order for us to have evolved to what we have to today. And I found that statement very, very interesting, and I've thought about it a lot. Well, since then, I've heard a couple of channelings done about Hitler, and I thought, wow, you know, interesting. And so the channelings about Hitler were different. It came out that in these channelings, and they were done by different people, but I came across that they both came out to being the same. That Hitler is actually kind of a good guy. He came down here to do a thing because it needed to be done so that we could change our consciousness and so that people would think different on a whole. Because we needed to be mirrored or faced with our worst nightmare almost kind of thing in order to change it. And so I found that very, very interesting, and I really, really find some truth in that is maybe what we did. And we came all the way from way back when to all the way to now, you know, to evolve to this. And it gets me thinking a lot about compassion. Because, you know, if you think about Hitler, he didn't have a whole lot of compassion. Or I at least don't think he did. I mean, how do you do that? How do you kill all of those people and have all those people killed and call that compassion and not have, he was like blank, like he had no feelings for it, like he was cut off from it, you know, like, but wouldn't you have to be? Wouldn't you have to be Hitler? Wouldn't you have to be cut off from that feeling of it? I don't know, you know, maybe he was like a Jesus. Maybe he was. But seriously, when you look at it, we couldn't be here today in the now where we're ascending, where we're all uplifting and going through this shift if Hitler hadn't existed. So Hitler had to exist in order for us to go through this shift that we're in now. I don't know. I mean, like, I remember the planet when it was red. I remember her when she was, you know, full of lava and volcanic eruptions and earthquakes and chaos. And that's why they called her Echo, by the way. That's why I remember. That's why I come from way back before she was called Gaia, which has been a really, really long time, you know. But, you know, somehow we had to get from red Echo planet to blue Gaia planet, you know. Somewhere it had to change. Somewhere, you know, some things had to happen in between there before that could happen, you know. And things did happen in between there. And then there's the cause and effect of stuff. Well, you know, I don't know why I have these memories of Echo as Earth, you know. I don't know why I come from way back then or exactly. I mean, I do know that I have everything to creating this, but it stands to reason, if I'm thinking about it in a rational way, when I look back at things, that in order to get things to happen to where we can ascend, that certain things need to be placed in certain wild cards, if you will, need to be placed back in history, if you will, so that we can have what we have today. It just has to be that way. So maybe Hitler wasn't such a bad guy after all. Maybe all this suffering and everything else wasn't so bad after all. I mean, we are here evolving and we're learning and we're growing and this and that and the other. But without all of the bad stuff, we couldn't get here to where we're at today. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm trying to talk about compassion. Somehow this has something to do with compassion. I'm not exactly sure how, but this is like compassion. I think I came here in this lifetime to learn compassion. But I don't know how it's connected, but it's just connected somehow. But anyways, we're all discovering who we are. Every one of us. And I love you all. It's all connected. Somehow it's all connected. What do you think?